Apple lands on Threads, and FaceTime freezes Nudity. This is MacVoices. MacVoices is supported by Take Control Books, one of the very best sources of clear, concise information on not only Apple's various operating systems, but also key Apple and third-party utilities and more. Visit TakeControlBooks.com and start your library today. I don't know if this is important or not, but Apple, after 2 years, is officially on Threads.
Yeah.
So
Guess what? They haven't posted a thing on it yet.
No.
But, it makes me wonder, just does this validate in some way Threads, at least for our audience and for us? I know that, some of us are on Threads, not everybody here. I think we're all on Blue Sky. Some of us have left Twitter. I think everybody here, I believe, has a Mastodon presence. Jim, you say you're officially not on Threads.
Yeah.
Is there a particular reason?
I'm not on Facebook, so why would I be on Threads?
Okay, that's fair. Eric?
Yeah, I'm not on Threads either.
No.
Same deal. Not on Facebook, not on Threads. I figure this is just Apple preserving the account so nobody else could go in as Apple. It's just easier.
Oh, I bet they did that a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have it there. They don't need to post anything. It just needs to exist.
I mean,
But it seems like something happened, and that there was this announcement that they're on Threads. So, right?
personally, I like Mike Hurley's explanation from today's upgrade. This is pretty much just in preparation for ads coming to Threads.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I sometimes wonder. We all know that ads have been such a big thing in social media, and if that's the case, Ben, then what should Apple's official channel be for information? Not advertisement, but information.
I mean, it will be that account, but Apple is a relatively large ad buyer on Twitter, X, whatever it wants to call itself this week. They are also a big ad buyer on Facebook's platforms. So it just kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but where I was going with that is what is the most Apple-like social media presence out there? Where should they be? Because, again, we've had this discussion that the large organizations still, most of them, not all of them, but most of them still have presences on X and Facebook.
Yeah.
And they have not, a few have left in protest over different things on both platforms. But if you go and look, and yet you don't see a lot of Blue Sky, you don't see a lot of Threads. To be fair, you do see a fair amount of Instagram, I think, because of the graphical nature of it. But, I mean, have social media accounts become less important in the last couple of years?
Kind of depends on how you're using that social media account. I mean, if you're using it for a discussion or that type of thing, you kind of go where your niche is. Okay. If you're a large multi-billion-dollar, well, in this case, multi-trillion-dollar company, you go where you can attract customers.
Jeff?
You asked what should their official channel for information be. And my answer to that is their website, because that's where they have complete control over the message they deliver and how it's delivered. If you chain yourself to a specific social media platform as your information dissemination channel, you're now beholden to that platform and how it operates. And when they make changes to how it operates, that can have a negative impact on your business. So make your channel, your official channel, your website. You can post to as many social media platforms as you want. Just send everyone back to your official channel, which is your website.
Jeff, I agree with you completely. But Apple's website, nor most company websites, are set up to do the kind of interactive back and forth. And that's where I think that people still enjoy the social media part, because they can go back and forth, sometimes with companies, but usually with each other, or comment on something that the organization has posted, as opposed to being able to comment on it on their website.
Well, that's a different thing.
Mhm.
Your information channel and your communication channels aren't necessarily the same thing.
Mhm.
So, yeah, for interacting with your audience in near real time, yeah, social media platforms can be useful for that, but still don't tie yourself to one.
And Apple has never really used social media as a communications platform.
That's true.
Yeah. Marty?
I'm holding out for eWorld. I want to bring that back.
Oh man, wouldn't that be the best?
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't, Jeff.
And
No.
they control the whole universe.
I nostalgically miss eWorld. Practically speaking, I don't even have a landline. How would I connect to it?
Marty?
Yeah, I just think there's so many different social media platforms that are grabbing for everybody's attention that it's hard. I mean, I can't be on all of them because I don't have time to put my eyes on all of them. So I select only a few, and even the few that I select, I'm not spending as much time as I could on those platforms to get what I get out of the platform. So, and I think Ben might have alluded to this, that they've drilled down into some specificity and sort of some reputation. So, if you're doing tech stuff, then it's Mastodon. If you're doing social stuff and you're kind of into the social media, the Twitter of Facebook, then you want Threads. And there's so many platforms. There's such a demand for people's eyes. It wasn't always like that. We all know there were a couple where people basically split their time between. Maybe it was Facebook and Twitter, and that was about it. But with all these new ones out there, and with they're trying to attract a niche group of people, it's not easy to be able to get as much punch for it as you did when you were only had one or two social media platforms you had to deal with.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I'm thinking of micro.blog. I mean, that's sort of a boutique little social network. Yes, there is a small charge to be part of it, but the people there seem to be very happy with what they have, and they're looking to have that sense of community that frankly, I'm not sure any of the bigger ones really have that sense of community anymore. So maybe it's just a natural evolution of things. Eric?
Yeah.
He's speechless.
You had a comment that I was looking for from the chat that.
Oh, it's just gone right. I was all so involved with yeah. Well, one, there's always YouTube, and I think people forget that that's almost become a social media platform just in the comments, and just because it gets linked back into everybody else's social media, even if it's not direct. Plus, it's a nice archive. And then I also had a comment that, they should have eWorld in every Vision Pro, fully immersive with AI. And then they can go back after all of the AI engineers that went to Meta and bring them back to eWorld.
Back to eWorld. Man. Marty, InSpace is Vision Pro's social media?
Yeah, I think
comment.
Eric would, and maybe Dave would agree with this, that it is sort of the place to connect with people with Vision Pro. It's a platform, it's an app. It's also, I guess, on iOS, and I don't know if it's on iPad OS. But in Vision Pro, it's sort of the place where people go to meet. They have a variety of themes for different activities. So there's like book discussions, and there's, coders, people who are interested in doing coding. And they announce all these sort of like on a calendar where you can go in and say, oh, I think I want to join that. And so it's become sort of the social media space within Vision Pro.
So, Marty, expand on for just a second, because I don't have a Vision Pro, so therefore I have not experienced this. Are there little communities, or is it just like a general, hey, I'm going to sign up and we're just going to talk no matter where we are and let the conversation go where it will?
Well, I'll have Eric help me with this, but I'll give it a start quickly. You sign up, you get your own actual apartment. However, they have a calendar that's part of the interface that says these are different things that are happening in space, and you can get an invitation or ask for an invitation to go to that particular activity. And frankly, when those things are announced, you can click on and go to whatever space it's in. It's generally in somebody's apartment in space. There was talk that they were going to create community spaces, if you can imagine that, sort of parks or large gathering spaces where people could just show up like in a public space and do that. I don't know if they've gotten that far. Eric, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but you can customize the apartment and make it a little more office-like, a little more apartment-like. You can put up pictures. There's a table. You can put images or videos on the table, and so that people can pick them up and look at them. There's a bunch of seating around the table, limited, but so people can drop in. You can have a private room where only people on your list can get in, or just have it public, so when you show up, people can just drop in and say hi. There are a bunch of people that sit in space as like an office. It's like going into an office space. People can come by your work area, say hi, go off and do something else, and you're just kind of there, and it's in the background. So it can be sort of passive, available front porch kind of thing, or a little more active where you invite people over for a discussion on some political topic, or a book, or some technical thing, or something has just happened. Everyone can kind of pop into a room and chat about it, or share links and pictures.
They did a watch party for WWDC. I remember that.
Yeah. And it's because you can get a bunch of people that have Vision Pros that all show up in one spot. Some of the other functionality, like being able to have chats and then watch like a TV show with somebody else with a Vision Pro, all in the same theater or a movie or whatever, it's a little easier to find someone that has all of the hardware.
I'm curious about this because I was part of I guess a virtual world community at one point that some people or this is several years ago now, that some people had headsets, most of us didn't, and we were interacting just on our screens, manipulating avatars, and there would be certain events, if you will, that you would sign in, and there were people there, like as usual, from all over the world, but that was a totally different experience than I would imagine what the Vision Pro is, because in the Vision Pro, it's totally immersive, and it's light years beyond what that was then. I think it changed people's behavior a little bit, even having the avatars. And so I'm wondering just how this is going to, the Apple Vision Pro is going to change that experience and the desire of people to get into that experience and use it as a meeting place.
I'm a nicer person online than I am in person. I have a tendency to be much more polite.
That's interesting. Is that an intentional thing, or does it just sort of happen?
I think it sort of happens, but I think it's because it puts me in a safer space of communication with people I don't know, if I'm not being a jerk.
Okay. Eric, do you find your behavior changing?
Oh, my behavior always changes. I don't know if it's worse or better. It depends on the day, how much caffeine I've had. But it's interesting because there are people that treat it as like a coffee shop or a work spot where they're there a lot. And there are people who drop in after work or after they've completed a project and they're just relaxing. So there's some people that are trying to get work done. They're willing to chat briefly, but they're still doing something. They just want to do it with other people around, even though they are home office. There are other people that they've done their work. Now they want to interact, so they want to play a game. They want to, chit chat with a group of people. It's like stopping by a bar after work kind of concept, or going to the library for a book club thing after work. And because there are people all over the world, when you are, and is it after work or during work, varies quite a bit.
Dave, you've been kind of quiet on this. I know that you haven't had your Vision Pro as long as Eric or Marty, but have you experienced in space, and how do you feel about what you've done there?
Yeah, I played around with the in space, and it was pretty incredible. I mean, just the actual feeling there. Even when I've talked about the immersive videos, I mean, you just feel so there and involved with being in space and being in those areas. And I've been playing a lot more with it, and I find it to be just rather interesting and pretty amazing.
I'm looking forward to experiencing some of this at some point.
Yeah,
because I think
we might twist your arm to buy one. So
yes,
we can always,
as if that's something new.
We can slap it on your head at MacStock and bring you into InSpace, and then you can experience.
I had this vision of you guys tying me to a chair and sticking a Vision Pro on my head for the entire conference.
Did it just get hot in here?
Good.
Yeah, we're going to do a clockwork. Yeah, we're going to do a clockwork orange that forces eyes open.
That's exactly.
You want to buy one?
Wow. Okay, there's a reference I haven't thought about for a long time.
Chuck, I got your back. Don't worry. I got your back.
Thank you. Yes, Webb, don't let them brainwash me.
Mhm.
As soon as he lets his guard down, Webb, you can get the headset on his head. He won't suspect a thing.
I'm being plotted against.
Yeah.
Chuck, your biological and technological distinctions will be added to their own.
Yeah,
Resistance
good. Thank
is
you.
futile.
Yeah.
Resistance.
All right, Jeff. I was saving this one for you.
Uh-oh.
Yes, because this just seems so right down your alley. iOS 26 can freeze your FaceTime video if it detects nudity.
Okay, I did see this, and I have not had a chance to test this yet. Just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah, please do
It
that in
pauses-
private, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
So
pauses
check-
your video just long enough so you can get a really good look.
Correct. Well, that was my first thought. It's like, wow, okay. But I guess what it comes down to is, Chuck, do you have the beta installed in anything so we can test this?
No.
I get why some people are really pissed off because they're like, Apple shouldn't be monitoring what's happening on my device and it's my business. And sure, if it's all consensual, great. But keep in mind, it's not happening off device. This is where Apple's AI efforts really shine, because it's all a scanning thing on device. And having something that blocks nudity when it first happens is probably a good thing for a lot of people. That said, from what I understand, it's a thing where it pops up and says, "Hey, naked time," and you choose if you want to end the call or continue. So it's not like you're completely blocked out of being able to have that special remote time with that special someone in your life. But yeah, I get why some people are flipping out. Like this is very much an invasion of my privacy, and who's Apple to decide what my morals and standards should be, how much clothes is appropriate for me to wear. I'm curious if it's a man and he takes off his shirt, is it going to freeze? If it's a woman who takes off her shirt, is it going to freeze? And if it does it for one gender but not the other, is that appropriate?
Brian?
Also,
sorry, Jeff.
One other little thought to go with that. I'm curious how well this is trained. Is it equally effective regardless of what color your skin is?
Brian?
I was looking at the fact that it was focused perhaps on child, like accounts that are for children, and protecting there. So it does say, though, currently, let's see, it seems it's intended for child accounts, though it can currently be enabled in beta for adults as well. So it'll be interesting to see if it goes for everybody or if it's just something that's, for children's accounts. As far as, the aspect of, Apple looking and seeing what is being shown on the video, it seems to be, I think it's all on device though. It's not, not anywhere else. So yeah, I think the more information, if they want to, I think the lack of transparency and information that may have come out ahead of time, would probably set more people off than if they're upfront and said, this is what we're doing, this is what we have. So people, that way they know. But it seems like it's catching some people off guard.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind,
Mark?
it's also in beta.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
This is currently not a shipping feature. It's a beta thing. So a lot can happen with this between now and when iOS 26 ships. So, okay, I have a problem with people getting all hot and bothered because of something that's in a beta. A feature doesn't work, there's a new feature they don't like, there's a graphic element they don't like, whatever. It's beta, people. And I blame Google for putting us in a position where most people just don't grasp what beta means anymore, and they think it's the final shipping product. So, chill, people.
Well,
let's just see what happens.
Jeff, that and the general tech media, I also blame, because they're covering iOS 26. Excuse me, they're covering all of the 26 OSs, the betas. They're not even public betas yet.
Right.
They're still developer betas, and yet they're talking about them and almost forcing you to pay attention to this, even though, yes, you have the ability to run one if you want, but it's just not a good idea. So, Mark?
Yeah, I was going to make some points. I think Jeff touched on them about, what if, male takes off a shirt or something. But it goes more than that. Fat men with boobs or women with flat chests. Maybe it's been trained to do that. It depends what's definition of nudity. Crotch out of a man or a woman. I think something like that would trigger it. And then ultimately, is this absolute, or do people have a choice? This should be, another settings in the Confused Settings app on the phone of allow it, or disallow it. And I think that should make everybody happy. People want it, they can use it or not use it. And, they can STF you, about criticizing Apple and Apple control, and it's my civil liberties and they're infringing on it. And all that stuff just becomes irrelevant if they educate and give people user choice.
I want to throw in that when I saw this, okay, all the jokes kind of take care of themselves, but I feel like this is if it's as long as it's on device, that's one thing that we really need to know. Then I don't see a problem with this. It can be turned on, it can be turned off.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be, I assume a large part of child control and access. But it also reminded me of something we talked about, I believe, just last week, where Ring doorbells now have an AI service that you can purchase that will identify what's happening on your camera, so that you don't have to sit and watch. You can know if somebody's delivering a package, or I think the other example was that a dog was tearing up a newspaper on your porch. This feels like something that AI should be able to do, and it should be viewed as a good thing. This way, somebody can't stash a camera, and I realize this is a phone thing, but somebody can't stash a camera somewhere unobtrusive and spy on somebody else in a compromising position, because it's going to stop it. It's going to say, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And at the very least, it will give somebody the opportunity to say no. So I didn't find this offensive at all. I think it's a good thing if the technology can be perfected, and if it can be turned on and off as you so desire. That was my take on it. Anybody? Jim, you're awfully quiet on a lot of this. Do you have any strong feelings about where this is all going?
Not really. I mean, like you say, it's on device. You can turn it on and off. So
visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.